This right here is the CMF Watch Pro, a €69 smartwatch that not only looks great but can do pretty much anything that higher priced smartwatches can. But in this video we are not talking about any of this. We'll be comparing it with the cheapest alternative that Apple offers, the Watch SE, since I own and use that daily since its release. I've been testing the Watch Pro for the better part of 2 months now, wearing it every other day, switching it out for the Apple Watch SE, and overall I like it. But there are also some quirks and some software bugs that we have to talk about. And these bugs are also why this is the second Watch Pro that I own. Why? Well, let's find out in the review. The Watch Pro by CMF arrives in the same package as the Buds Pro, featuring the watch itself, which you can choose between 4 colors. This right here is the ash gray version. There's also a wristband made out of some rubbery silicone material that feels nice to the touch and is very comfortable after getting used to it, even though it gets dirty very quick. When comparing this with the Apple Watch SE's band, there is a slight difference in texture. The Watch SE is a bit softer to the touch. Size-wise, the Watch Pro is a tad bigger than the SE and features a more squared out look with clean lines and flat touch area, while the SE is a bit bulkier. Overall, both watches are great looking, and design-wise there is no clear favorite in my opinion. But material-wise, it's quite different. The Watch Pro uses an aluminum alloy frame. The underside, where most of the sensors are, is made out of plastic. And overall, it definitively feels more like a budget watch than the Apple Watch SE, which is made out of aluminum and ceramic casing. Comfort levels on both watches was equally great. Wearing them the whole day and night was fine with no complaints whatsoever except for battery life and recharging. The Apple Watch SE has a clear positive as well as a big negative. First, of course, let's start with the positive. This can be wirelessly charged via Apple's Puck, which also charges AirPods and more. It's convenient to be able to use one charger with multiple devices. The negative though is the battery life on Apple's watches, especially the more budget-oriented one. It's not really great. Since owning these, I had to recharge it every other day. 20 hours is the most I could get from it while having a normal day, using it occasionally and checking messages and notifications. Now the Watch Pro on the other hand has a runtime of almost 2 weeks per battery charge. Yeah, 2 weeks. In the last 2 months of using the watch, I had to recharge it roughly 5 times in total, with 1 week of not actually using it. The only thing I don't like is the charging itself. Since this isn't really wireless, but it has a typical cheap smartwatch double charge cable thingy, which is proprietary and has to be reordered if the cable breaks. Let's talk features, starting with the display itself. The Watch Pro features a 1.96-inch AMOLED display with peak brightness of 600 nits, and it's an always-on display. Reading messages on the display in sunlight was absolutely no problem. The viewing angles were also great, with no problems giving it a glance from the side to see what time it actually is. Specs wise, you get everything you could want from a budget watch. Roughly 100 different watch faces, all nicely designed to give the watch your personal touch. A heart rate monitor that tracks pretty accurately. A blood oxygen saturation monitor that also seems to be doing its job. The typical reminder functions to drink more water or to stand up every couple of hours. A stress monitor function that tracks your data and combines it into a nice overview about your current stress levels. A sleep monitor that gives you infos about how long you've slept and how well, and it has an IP68 water resistance, so you can use it in 1.5 meters deep water for up to 30 minutes. There's also built-in GPS, a wide range of different sport tracking modes, calls via Bluetooth that get AI noise cancelling and more. And everything works over Bluetooth 5.3. And this is where most of the software itself becomes rather clanky and weird, the Bluetooth. First off, the software itself is nicely designed. Good use of typography as always by Nothing, the touch functions work well and everything is built logically in itself. Swiping up and down for different settings, watching notifications, seeing the most used functions at a glance. All well thought through if they actually arrive at the watch. Because everything is powered over Bluetooth as said before. The watch itself gets everything from the CMF Watch app, which has to be opened at all times. Without that there is no update at all. This also means no usage of the watch without your phone, and in my testing phase there have been multiple days where Even though the watch was connected, no notifications came through, so I had to restart the watch and reconnect it to make it work again. Also, the watch only acts as a mirror. For instance, when replying to your notifications, you need to get your phone to answer anything except for call. You can see, but you can't interact, which is quite a bummer for a watch. That's where the Apple Watch SE is best, since everything is worked out through the watch OS itself and can be used natively without being connected to your phone for answering. Now, upgrading or adding more apps to the Watch Pro isn't something that CMF has actually planned, since there is no dedicated app store and most of the apps on the watch are basic versions of features you already have on your phone. What's missing in my opinion is some kind of, well, a standard like a calendar app, which is in my opinion absolutely necessary. Of course, there is some kind of phone integration, such as start and stopping your music or using the watch as a shutter button for your phone camera, which to me is a more useless function and just a Bluetooth standard. Now, when it comes to tracking, for the most part the watch was good in counting your steps, except for being in the gym and working out. It had quite a bit of miscalculations when you weren't really using your arms deliberately, so everything that does not use your arms was clearly showing a difference in steps when compared to the Apple Watch SE. And the watch also does not recognize when you are actually working out, since it does not include an automatic workout start and stop function depending on your heart rate. You always have to manually tell it to record your data. Yes, I am working out right now. Now, I would have loved to show you the tracking data that I accumulated over the last 1.5 months, but unfortunately, well, here's the reason why this is actually my second Watch Pro. The watch bugged out on me while making an update to its newest software version. To connect the watch to your phone for the first time, you have to scan the device in via a QR code that is shown on the display of the watch and use the CMF app to connect to that. Well, the first time this worked great, but while doing the update, the watch somehow bugged out on me and went into an endless loop that always wanted me to connect the app, and the app wasn't actually connecting to the watch, and so on. So it was a cycle that was always repeating. Even after waiting 13 days for the battery to drain and then rebooting the watch, it stayed the same. So CMF was kind enough to send me a second watch after explaining all of that to their customer service, which also took roughly a week. And of course, all the tracking data is lost when connecting to a new watch because it's saved on the old one and waiting for GPS signal and the connection to the watch. So very buggy. In the end, if you like to get a watch that does almost everything you want in terms of tracking, features and integration, the Apple Watch SE is the one you should go for in my opinion. If you want a more basic cheap watch that has a long-lasting battery time and you are willing to see past the buggy experience, the basic functionalities of other cheaper smartwatches, but you get the great looks and comfort with a long battery runtime and a great display on top of that, then the CMF Watch Pro could be your choice. It's the best cheap smartwatch you can buy, but it's still miles away from rivaling the cheapest smartwatch from a premium manufacturer. As always, my name is Leech and I'm off writing the next scripts. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to subscribe to this channel. There are plenty more of this type of content and many other things available for you to watch. Have a great day, see you around, and goodbye.